This story is about a young man in mid-1900s who is talking about one of his close friends. His friend, who came from a middle class, is interested in the problems in Korean society. Okay, let's get it started. Memory. It's about an old story, which is not like what happened once upon a time, but what happened to me and my friends when I was younger. I haven't reached the half of the age 50 yet, so the old means just the recent past. But if I look back, I was so immature when the old story happened. So, I feel like the story took place a long time ago. I want you to read the story knowing that I was immature back then. Every time it snows in large snowflakes in winter, it reminds me of several people. One of them is my friend, whom I lost contact with, especially when I sit next to a stove listening to falling big snowflakes out of window at late silent winter night. The coals in the Russian stove are crackling, and the water in the Russian kettle, samovar, is boiling. The snowflakes look like falling flowers. I become worried about, at the time, when people enjoy this cold winter night, by reading stories about a king and a queen. What if he was stuck in a snow pit, or he became homeless wandering the streets in this cold weather? He's probably riding a dog sled on a snowy field. Or he's maybe scheming something with people whom I don't know in the village hall. When I think of him, I miss him more. Since he went to North Korea, I haven't heard anything about him. It reminds me of him, listening to the falling snow through the window sitting next to a fire pot. An incident that happened to his family occurred to me. No is one of my closest friends, even though he isn't one of my old friends. Sometimes, old friends change, and they are not good anymore. No, and I went to the same middle school. From the 4th year of middle school, students need to be more mature. They should read other books as well as school books. They need to make an effort to get to know society, and share their thoughts with others. This was when and I got close to each other. We always brought books to our meeting. We liked to talk about the books. We read and exchanged our opinions. Reading an English book was pretty challenging. It took me several months to finish. Then, I lent it to him, and other people. Led a book discussion group. He was actively participating in the discussion. His passion in the discussion group was what the other members needed to have. He already seemed to have his own view of life. The more solid his view became, the more passion he had. And I got so close to each other that we shared our money as well as our books. I liked his looks. His distinct facial features were like unfinished carvings. There was a passion in his big dark eyes, and a strong will in the straight bridge of his nose. The broad forehead showed his wisdom. His neck and sturdy body showed his energy. He was wearing rectangular glasses, which looked good on him. Came from a middle-class family. His father worked for the government. Didn't get along with his father, so he didn't like spending time at home. Frustrated by the modern Korean education, he went to Japan to work and learn about the new world in the spring of the year, when he finally finished high school. But he came back the following summer. Then, after leaving a letter, he went to North Korea forever. Going back to the time when he went to middle school, an incident happened to his family. His family got robbed. His whole family freaked out. They thought it was a thief. They found it too late. They didn't even know when the thief broke in. 101 of cash, a watch, a suit, and a silver ornamental cup were stolen in the bedroom of his father. His father was in trouble because he didn't have any other suit left to wear for work. They couldn't find any traces of a thief. Furthermore, there was no one to come either last night or the next morning. If a rat didn't take the money from the bag, or the suit hanging on the wall didn't walk away by itself, then it was certainly theft. What a stealthy thief. The suit and the watch was pretty noticeable, so it's not that difficult to take them. But how could the thief find the money hiding in a bag? More surprisingly, the thief stole the silver glass, which was deep in the wardrobe. It seemed to be impossible to take it in such a short time if thief didn't know in advance. So his father started to suspect people within the inner circle of the family. His father checked with the housemaid, the needlewoman, and the woman servant one by one. But the only thing he found was all the doors were locked, and any outsiders didn't come until midnight, at least last night. There was no way for a thief to break in. After reporting it to the police, his father checked out the pawn shop in the neighborhood. But he couldn't find anything. When went back home from school, his father also asked him about the theft. Said that he didn't know anything. He thought it could happen as more and more people became poor these days. In that evening, a note scribbled by someone was found on the nose desk in the room. It said, "I'm really sorry for what happened, but there was no other choice. I didn't do it for me, but for the group I'm in. Something unexpected happened to the group, so we needed cash real bad. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you about the group now. Then you might ask me why I didn't come and ask for a help. That's actually what I really wished, but the circumstances didn't allow it. I just hope that you could understand. I promise that I'll pay you back as soon as possible. What else can I say? I'm just asking for your forgiveness. From the thief at 2 a.m., things became clear. His father had mixed feelings. He liked and didn't like what the thief did. The family just smirked. Live and learn. The thief left a note. But it's still too coincidental for the thief to break without leaving a trace and find everything perfectly. The handwriting suggested that it was not anyone in the house. The next day, a letter came to know. The letter stated as followed. I came down here by taking a bus in the morning. I'm very tired now due to the lack of sleep last night. Thanks for your help. I think we'll be able to deal with our task this time. I don't know how to thank you for your effort. Actually, there's one thing I regret. I know the old saying that you'll stop at nothing to profit at your end. But what we did was not good. I stole things in the room while you were on the watch out of the entrance to your house. I felt really bad when I left with the loot. I was confused if I really had to do this no matter how good our goal was. I felt very sorry when I thought about how you felt about your family. And what really happened to us made me feel very sad. So I left this note when I left. I'll keep you informed about our endeavors. Take care. From P at X stop. P and No were accomplices in the crime. P, who was senior to us, was already involved in peasant movement. P and No was close to each other, so he was close to me too. Actually, P was more than just a close friend to me. I sort of respected him. His point of view had influence on mine. I think you can tell what kind of person No is. Why didn't he follow his father? To make a long story short, he just had a different view of life from that of his father. I'm not trying to say who is better, but what I'm trying to say is he was different. You can't see the world merely as black and white because most of the things are relative. It's deep into the night. The stove almost went out, and the snowflakes outside of the window are still falling. No started to come to my mind. Is he now being buried in the snow? Is he wandering around in the street to find a place to sleep? Or is he riding a dog sled in the open field? Or is he planning something with strange people in an isolated building in North Korea? Wherever you are, I wish you the best of luck.